Y'all, it is Taylor Bridges here. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Please pardon the delay in this video. I was really under the weather, but I'm back like I never left. I'm reviewing Love and Marriage DC Season 2, Episode 5. This episode is titled Street Fighters. A lot went down, and it's been like almost a week since I've seen the episode, but I do have my notes, but I remember very correctly that a lot went down. The episode starts with Lil Jamie at Brittany's place. So then Big Jamie, Irena, and the grandma they've all arrived, and Lil Jamie has this nervous grin on his face. He like stood up and greeted his family. It really made me smile because he just looked like a little shy little boy. Like, what are y'all doing here? But every time I see Lil Jamie, I just see like just a little boy that just wants love and attention, and is just being defiant and rambunctious. Brittany says that she's over this meeting with each family member one-on-one, you know, so it's just time that they put it all on the table. I totally feel that. I totally agree. Jamie takes accountability for his parenting style being an effect on Lil Jamie, and I was very glad that he admitted that. Lil Jamie knows that he needs to get money, but he doesn't know what he wants to make it. And I'm like, that's a rich man's game. All that waiting, you know, idly until inspiration comes, like while you're getting, no, that's for people with money, waiting for inspiration. Okay, while you're getting your thoughts together, you need to pull that Camaro into a plaza with like different stores and apply to every single store in the lot. That's what you need to do, no matter what the job is. Since you don't know what you want to do, make sure you at least do something. Just do something for right now. Just go for anything. You can really go for anything because you don't know what you want to do. So you don't know that you don't want to do it. Like, you can't just be unemployed because you don't know what you want to do. Like, you're a grown man with no money. That's unacceptable. Find something to do, like, in the meanwhile. Jamie starts expressing emotion over Lil Jamie being appreciative, pardon, of what he has, you know, applying himself in the world, making something of himself, essentially. And this is the side that I've been envisioning Big Jamie has been behind closed doors the majority of the time with Lil Jamie. That this part of him, like, in my opinion, like from my observation, this seems honestly the way I anticipated Big Jamie behaving behind the scenes, being this gentle and at least emotional with Lil Jamie. You can tell it's an emotional family. Like, every time they fight, it's just emotions fly wild. Like, they clearly express themselves a lot, you know. Even like, I imagine, you know, I mean, clearly all parties involved, you know, are quite emotional. Even grandma was breaking down, and you can tell like Lil Jamie doesn't want them to feel this way. Like, he knows that he's falling short. Like, he knows that. I think that's why he gets frustrated when it's constantly brought up, because he's like, I know, like, yes, I'm seeing the same thing y'all are seeing. I know. They do love each other. They need a therapist. They need help communicating, and Lil Jamie needs a job. And then obviously later on in the episode, a little bit later, they're gonna go to a therapist, but in the order I wrote my notes, I literally take notes live, and I was like, they need a therapist. And then boom, a scene with the therapist occurs later on. Big Jamie gives Lil Jamie an ultimatum to either go get professional help together or move out of the house completely and change his address. And I think the ultimatum was reasonable only because it's his house. It's his house. Like, I think it's reasonable because that's his place. But are you creating, I was thinking, like, for Big Jamie, are you creating more problems for yourself by kicking Lil Jamie out into the world? Lil Jamie has zero income. You're not going to let him be homeless. You know, that's not an option. Or will you and Irena be able to set and keep the boundary as if he's really on his own? I don't know. One would say, yeah, he has no money, so he should figure it out, but they're not going to let him go too far. Like, I'm thinking, like, I don't know, giving that ultimatum is a bit of a dangerous risk because Lil Jamie has no incentive to not call their bluff. Just like he has no incentive to get a job. Like, think about it. All his parents and his grandma, they're going to do is cry and scream about it. But they're still going to cough up the money to afford his lifestyle if he needed it. At least so far. So, from his perspective, he ends up declining the ultimatum, declining the offer to go to therapy. And it's like, yeah, because he has no incentive. Like, he'd rather just call your bluff. All you're going to do is cry and scream and, okay, now, my car note money, please. Thank you. And what y'all got in the fridge while I'm here. You know, me and my girlfriend got to eat. And I got to go drive it to her in my Camaro. So, Lil Jamie says he doesn't need to talk to anybody. He's making the conversation about it being an attack on him. And I get it. Like, it's not hard to see how he feels that way, right? Like, he's probably rarely done much right. So he may be one of those dudes that needs like constant, those children, like, because he's not saying he's a child. He's a child of Arena and Big Jamie. He's probably one of those children that need constant positive reinforcement, encouragement, grace, empathy, you know, all while his like own interests being like you have to put him in his element. He's like, in order for, like, he has to be, it's like he has to have a special environment. It seemed like he required a lot of like reinforcement, encouragement, and whatnot. After a bit more expressing from the family, Lil Jamie does eventually agree to speak to somebody, and I'm like, this is a beautiful moment. Like, I pray this. I was like, I pray this vibe like positively progresses throughout the season, and it stays there. Like, I don't want to go backwards. Like, even if y'all are loud and wrong on social media together, at least y'all are together. I don't know what they do on social media. I just heard about it in the YouTube streets that they've been cutting up on social media. But fine. If they're going to be loud and wrong, I want them to at least be loud and wrong together, like, as opposed to against each other. I don't want to see them. I really don't want to see them at all. It's much more. I'm grateful that they've opened up and shown them much of our lives. But I'm like, okay, we're like 5 episodes in. I'm ready for this to take a high note and stay there. Like, I don't know. After so much, like, their trauma needs to not be televised as much. That's my opinion. Well, Jamie is truly surrounded by love. So, you know, the moment ended on the best note. And, you know, I'm rooting for the Tyler family. Winter is bringing us to a potential venue for her romancipation party. It's like a divorce party, essentially. And I said on one of my review videos for the show that I wanted to dive more into Winter's career as a relationship coach and not this like music career thing. Like, hopefully that whole studio scene was just a one-off to introduce Sherelle to the show. But even though this event is about Winter's personal life, it still has something to do with her like relationships, and she's a relationship coach. I want to see her in a new element. Like, I want to get to know Winter more, like, personally. Sherelle rose up to the venue. Her outfit was cute. Her wig. And when I saw her wig, I'm like, what does she see in the mirror when she's doing her hair? Like, her wigs are like bad. But first season, I'm going to keep calling them out as I see them. That is what it is. But I have in mind that this is her first season. You know, once you see yourself on camera, you can go back and fix it for the next season. If she comes back, then the jury's still out on that. She's a beautiful woman, though. She's a pretty woman. Her hairstyles, though, cheapen her look. Winter wants Sherelle to get the other ladies to come to her event. And I get it, because if Arena and Ashley aren't gonna invite Winter to any of their events, and Winter has to be able to film with the group to stay on the show. Like, she's not relevant enough to film all by herself like Kim Zolciak did that one season when all she filmed was with Kroy and Sheree. I'm still kind of annoyed, though, that these grown women haven't like worked this out yet. Like, Arena and Ashley insist on holding on to things, and they are probably like intentionally sabotaging Winter just to get her off the show. But like, get over it already. Call a truce. Y'all haven't done anything more, like, Winter has done no worse to you than you've done to her. But, like, why can't you see that? That's ridiculous. But, like, you watched yourself on camera. You watched the first season, the way you treated her, and you watched the reunion. Like, what is going on with these ladies? They're way more competent than the way they're behaving over this. Winter's glam was really pretty during the scene with her and Sherelle. Both ladies pinpoint Arena's messiness. And I'm like, I'm curious to see how Arena handles it since she's been in everybody else's business. Quick and Ashley are on the couch. And Quick brings up how Ashley didn't inform him that their 14-year-old son, Antonio, got into a fight at school. Ashley says somebody stole his jacket and he went to get his jacket back and it resulted in a suspension. My initial thought was, why are they talking about this on camera? Everybody always says, leave kids out of this. Have you not learned from Love and Marriage Huntsville with Monster smoking vape in the bathroom and all the other things that come up? Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Garcelle's son, and heck, all the reality shows. What is gained by speaking about a 14-year-old on this show? This is not a, yes, I'm sure it's like a PG-13 show, so 13 and up can watch it. But come on, like, this show isn't like appealing to the mass 14-year-olds. What do you gain about talking about a 14-year-old? I just feel like they are setting their son up, and I could be overreacting and overthinking. That's like a super huge possibility. But I feel like they're setting their son up for unnecessary scrutiny and judgment. Like, even though they just gave us full context, people do not care. People hear what they want to hear. They run with the narrative they want to run with. They understand English loud and clear. But we filter words all the time. We filter intention, messaging, all of that. Okay? I just think it's a bad idea. Then Quick and their professional starts his professional. Quick in their confessional starts commenting on Lil Jamie, essentially comparing him to his child. Keyword, child. So if Lil Jamie has a smoke for Quick, remember it's man to man in this situation. Because Lil Jamie has the right to defend himself if another grown man is keeping his name in his mouth on one hand, but is in his face trying to be his big bro and pretend to have his back on the other hand. Quick, you're messy. You're messy. Like, super messy. Like, you just pray that the world gives Antonio as much grace when he's 26. We all fall short. We all need grace. We all need mercy, empathy, help, encouragement, all of us. So yes, Lil Jamie has his woes and he might be falling short right now, but you're not about to sit up here and bring this man's name up every time you speak about you're a 14-year-old. Quick, like, get a new punchline already. Like, I felt uncomfortable watching Antonio explain the stuff at school. Like, he's a child. This is an adult show. I just have a bad feeling about it because I know how these people can be very cruel on social media. This was a very realistic conversation with a teenager. Like, honestly, nothing egregious really happened from my observation. Like, this is teenager, 14-year-old, freshman in high school stuff, quite frankly. But I still have a bad feeling about how the psychos, you know, take it. But that's not my child, so whatever. Antonio doesn't really owe the viewers and America an explanation. He owes his parents an explanation. That's it. And I think Quick could have spoken on the subject of, you know, we're all one decision away from a different life, like he was going on about, using an already existing example, either from like his past, within the news, etc., etc., and relate that to his son to prove the same point that he was trying to prove. And the son would have known what he was relating it to because he knows what just went down at school. But that's just my opinion. Handsome kid. He looks like his parents. I see a lot of Ashley in his face. Joy and Sherelle are linking up. If I'm not mistaken, from the previews of the episode that showed at the end of last week's episode, Joy is going to lie about what she did or didn't say to Arena. So I'm excited to see what's about to happen, because when do you ever get proof of like what was said other than like on reality TV? You know how it's like a he say, she say, and you like, no, this is what was said. And then somebody's trying to say the exact opposite and play telephone and play stupid. Like they don't want to stand on what they said. Reality TV is like the only moment where you can get it like on camera. So it really excites me just when people are held accountable and when people have to stand on what they say. Cause it's like in the real world, you don't really get that. They greet each other dry. Joy says she doesn't have an issue with Sherelle. That's a lie. Like, didn't you say you hate black? Is it black or block? I think it's black. Or is it block? I think it's block. That she hates block and anybody he associates with, including his wife. Okay, you're already on lie number 1. Because on, okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. Sherelle said her issue started when Arena brought to her attention what Joy was saying about Block. And I'm like, from my recollection, that's true. Sherelle didn't have all this animosity initially towards Joy. She returned Joy's initial energy because Joy came in with heavy energy at Arena's all pink mommy party. I think that's how it went down, from my recollection, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, did Joy use the word shady like Sherelle said? No. But we could play semantics all we want. I mean, that's literally what we're doing here. But through all the fluff, Joy was giving pretty much was giving her explanation as to why her and Block fell out, and she definitely insinuated. If I had to paraphrase, she definitely described this dude to do bad business, screw her over, etc. So cut it out, Joy. Lie number 2. I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch you, Joy. I'm gonna have to watch you. You want to play these childish semantic games and cower when you've been called out directly. We see each other. I think it is proper for Joy to not want to go into depth about what happened with Block not sitting there, like without all parties present, because that is how the he say, she say goes. It is worth noting, though, that Joy started all of this by having all the smoke for Sherelle the moment she saw her on camera. Like, as far as from we saw on camera, the moment Joy saw Sherelle, she already had the smoke. That's how we were introduced to them in the same room. Then you told Arena a loaded version of what occurred with Block on camera. So you want to, I understand on one hand, not want to like talk about this without all parties present, but you already did it with Arena. So why can't you at the very least relay what you said to Arena about this woman's husband to her face? It's already public information at this point. So at least that much, at least say what you said. Say what you said. Knowing Block before Sherelle means nothing, Joy, because let a woman say that they've known Clifton before you, and you know, no, like, I don't care who's known my man. I'm with him now, and I know him the best. Okay, that's it. Like, be quiet, Joy. Joy, in her confessional, says, truth is, 2 members decided to leave the band a month before the tour. They had 2 members come in last minute. They killed the tour. They did a really good job. Block wanted to bring the old members back. And I'm like, how hard was that? Finally, the truth. I mean, at least according to you. At least according to Joy. One side of it. How hard was that, Joy? What was the whole runaround for? How hard was that? It wasn't even all that much tea for you to be doing this. Joy, in the conversation with Sherelle, is beginning to get defensive. Sherelle has the right to hear her husband's side, hear your side, and still believe her husband is going about it the right way. That's her husband. Joy doesn't want any other opinion or point of view validated in this disagreement, and that's just not how disagreements really work. Joy asks Sherelle what she wants again. And I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but Joy started to smoke with Sherelle. Sherelle didn't even know Joy was talking about her husband like a dog till Raina told her. So I don't like when people do that. When they come on here and they act like somebody had all this smoke to them for them because they've been addressing it so much. But they've gotten that. They've been addressing it so much they forgot how it started. They forgot how it began. And it started with them being messy. That's why that's why you're constantly defending yourself and talking about it so much. Joy, you brought all of this up. Sherelle, from what I genuinely remember, Sherelle had no smoke. She was cool. Joy says her words to Raina back to Sherelle got lost in translation. I'm like, Joy is still unaccountable, attitudinal, and is still a mean girl, I see. But I did like the way Sherelle handled this encounter. Big and little Jamie are at counseling together. I am very thrilled to see it. When they replayed the scene of them two screaming in the hallway of Jason's going away party, I immediately thought, you know what? They were probably a little lit. It definitely gave sleepy, lit, and sad, but also sleepy. So it's hard to explain, but that's what I saw. And boom, I pressed play on the show and Jamie mentions they was a little lit. The counselor is right though. It's not an excuse. And because we've been seeing Big Jamie imbibed quite often at social events. And like social events are cool, but he's getting so lit that he's not remembering what happened. Like he did at Ashley's party. And not only not remembering, but saying detrimental things that he doesn't mean. So one could wonder, what is he like at home when he's been sipping on the couch for a few hours, becomes imbibed, and is like triggered? Just something I wonder, you know? What if he's coped by drinking throughout his law enforcement career? You know, in that industry with all the things he's seen, experienced, etc. What kind of trauma has he ensued due to his job? But I'm more empathetic than judgmental towards Big Jamie. Like, I'm bringing this up, but these are just my thoughts that are running through my mind as I'm saying them. Like, think about it. Last season, Big Jamie didn't want Raina saying anything about their marriage at all. Like, he wanted to be secretive and just private and just fake. So for him to be like this open by episode 5 is really huge, and it's really allowing us to get to know Big Jamie and even gain some understanding for him. Like, at least for me, like, I'm gaining a lot of understanding as to who he is. The same way I am with Ashley. When Ashley since Ashley has introduced her to what goes on between her and her mom. But Lil Jamie is right. He needs to just be a man, and being a man entails keeping a job, going to therapy and getting healing, prioritizing your health, etc. There are some really great attributes that come with being a man, since that's what Lil Jamie labeled it. It's really being an adult. But I am glad the counselor was able to reach Lil Jamie, and I love therapy. And to have someone to just talk to honestly and openly while still getting educated, professional advice, chef's kiss, you know, to get just an unbiased point of view in a calm space where he's not being berated or torn down. Like, all black men, you know, just need therapy. All of us need therapy, of course, but I'm just emphasizing black men because seeing just all of these 3 black men on the screen, you know, father, son, and therapist, this could be the next popular image of our community, you know, it being cool and viral to go to therapy and work through your stuff, you know, just one family at a time. So I really liked that scene. We're at Quick's street naming event, and finally we have all the couples like they're together. Like, this is the first time we've had all the couples together since the going away party. And if you include Sherelle and Block, then this is the first time ever. And Winter's not even there. So we still have yet, this is episode 5. We still have yet to have the entire cast together in one room. So I'm like, this is not going to be sustainable, you know, for seasons to come. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, at least like with like a Potomac where it's super divided, they still show up, you know, on trips, and they're in the same room together, at least, like everybody. But as of late, actually, that's not the case because the husbands haven't been on Potomac in a while, but with good reason, because clearly they can't stay their behinds out of trouble. But yeah, DC, I'm gonna need for y'all to have everybody in the room. I'm gonna need for y'all to grow up and mingle with your coworker, or at least like address your coworker. It is what it is. You're at work, you're getting paid. Like, come on. Irena looks really good. She always stays on point. Sherelle addresses Irena saying she talked with Joy. And I'm thinking this could be a real little tricky, Sherelle. Because like Irena said, you're addressing me and not everybody. And it's hard not to get defensive when out of nowhere you begin confronting me in front of the whole group. So I'm like, I'm already knowing this about to go left just because of how it began. Irena confirms that shady is the word that describes her husband. But Sherelle also won't let Irena finish her thought to explain herself. I'm like, this is ghetto. And Joy the whole time was on hush mouth. What did you say, Joy? What did you say? Can the real Joy please stand up? Like, not y'all fighting, not Irena and Sherelle fighting over what Joy said, and Joy is standing right there. That is so dumb. She's literally standing right there. That couldn't have been me. Nothing was resolved. So hopefully next episode gets it popping when the men link up and the women link up. It looks like it's gonna be a little mess. So I'm hoping it makes up, because this little street fight, that was so dumb and classless. Pathetic. Like, come on. Embarrassing. Over what? Over what? A 5-letter word, and the culprit standing right there, and y'all not even addressing her. This is ridiculous. But thank you so much for tuning into my video. I will have the next one out very soon. It airs a couple days. No, tomorrow night, and I'll have it out shortly thereafter. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. If you'll be so kind to like, comment, and subscribe, I'd be super grateful. Bye.